My pushback on that would be, I believe the state income tax, it generates what, a little over $12 billion per year.
12 to 14
or
billion,
or
depending
takes
on the year.
$12 billion out of the hard-working taxpayers'
Right.
hands.
Yep.
Okay. But I believe if you put in a 5-year phase out plan, I personally I would argue that is aggressive. You're talking about over $2 billion in tax relief per year. Again, the sooner we can do this, Kevin, I'd love to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Indiana. I mean, they are on pace right now to phasing it out, but they were not able to do it immediately either, despite all the growth that they are experiencing. Again, do I believe we can do it? Yes, but what I wanted to do in my plan, I wanted to put something that, again, that I felt was practical and something that I knew when we get in office, we can get across the finish line.
Totally respect it. And you are more familiar with Lansing, for instance, in your approach to Lansing than I would have been. One of the things that I discovered that I thought was crazy, because again, leaders put forth ideas, and the idea of completely eliminating the income tax. And I thought, okay, if I have to bend to the legislature, wouldn't it be great to say, let's cut personal income tax by 50% on day one, and let's set a number that if you are below a certain household income, either single family or married, that you pay no taxes. And you know what I found out? It's against the law.
Yeah.
It's against the state constitution. Some dumbass politician said it wouldn't be right to tax appropriately, even if that means some people don't pay taxes. And that's where we get into problems.
If I may, I was going to say one thing I would say is, you look at many of the folks that are running today, and they're bringing up income tax relief. They're phasing out the income tax. My question to them is, where were you at 8 years ago when I was House Speaker and we were working to do this? You may recall the first bill that we introduced in the House was House Bill 4001. And what it called for was bringing that income tax down to 3.9 and phasing it out. And I will tell you, many have asked me what was the most surprising thing that I experienced when I was Speaker. And it was how hard it was to get certain Republicans to want to cut taxes. And you may recall, I thought this was something that was going to fly through the legislature, and within days, we had then Governor Snyder was opposing it. We had several members in our caucus were opposing it. And after a couple weeks of debate, we got into the wee hours of the night, and we were going to be a couple votes short of getting this across the finish line. And for the 20, 25 years prior to that, speakers, if they didn't have the vote, they would just pack up, they would go home. All the members were given a pass. They were let off. They would go back to their districts and they'd say, I don't know why we didn't put that up for a vote. I don't know why we didn't pass it, because I was willing to vote for it. And I called the 12 members in that were no votes that night, and I told them, they didn't believe me. I said, tonight you're going to be held accountable.